ever been adventuring and you see this spectacular fireworks show and you think to yourself, man, that was way cooler in person and all my shots look super blurry and non-professional? Because same, me too. So I decided to go on a mission to figure out the easiest and best way for beginners who are not like pro photographers and don't have professional photography gear to take epic fireworks shots. I'm going to be sharing from a beginner's perspective what I did to get epic fireworks shots on my very first time. What's up, adventurers? My name is Alexandra and I live full-time in an RV. I adventure full-time and it is my goal to help you check off everything on your adventure bucket list and take some stunning photos in the process. Today, I am going to be walking you through, from a beginner's perspective, how to get epic fireworks shots, from the best camera settings, from what gear you need, and then just some simple tips and tricks to help you epically capture those amazing fireworks shows. Now let's start strong and let's talk about what gear you are going to need for these beginner fireworks shots. Now keep in mind, I said that I was a full-time adventurer, so all of my gear is going to be very, very minimalistic. I know that you can do this with really big, fancy, expensive tripods and gear, but that is not what I'm going for. I'm going for, you are traveling, you are adventuring, you don't have room to carry a giant heavy tripod with you. So the very basics, you are going to need a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. Now you do not need to go out and buy like a $5,000 camera. In fact, this is a semi-professional camera. This is a Canon EOS M50 Mark II, not a professional camera, yet I still got some pretty good results. Just take whatever camera you have and make it work. Now, number two, you are going to need a tripod. This unfortunately is needed if you do want those long exposure fireworks shots, which are pretty much all that I took because they're super cool. And if you do have a remote shutter, you want to keep this as still as possible. You can use it. However, as I said, if you are adventuring or traveling, you don't need it. You can just use the 2-second timer, which is what I did. Now, as far as what lens you need, this is going to be dependent on kind of where you are. You might need a telephoto if you are super far away, or you might need a wide angle if you want to get all the action. For me, I actually kind of stuck between 15 and 18 millimeters the entire time, and I was totally fine. So if you are traveling, you just have a kit lens, just a standard zoom lens. That's all you really need. Of course, if you want to get fancy with it and like go crazy, that's fine too, but I'm just telling you the basics for beginners. Now let's talk about the best camera settings. I watched about 1 million videos of all of these professional photographers like spewing photography jargon at me, and although I understood it, it was a bit hard to understand, so I'm just going to give you the basics of the basics so you can just point, shoot, go, and enjoy the show. Now I would start with this base, your ISO. Keep it as low as you possibly can. I know this seems counterintuitive because it's nighttime, but fireworks are actually a lot brighter than you think. So just keep it at 100, 200, keep it as low as you can to avoid that grain, or else it's gonna come out with a ton of noise and you don't want that. Now number two, your aperture, I would consider putting it around like f8 to f11. You want most of the scene in focus. You don't want any like blurry fireworks. You want all the fireworks in there. Now honestly, I just decided on a shutter speed and then I just used the aperture in order to properly expose the image, and once I had it, I kind of just kept it the same so that I wouldn't have to be adjusting my settings mid-show, because these fireworks shows don't last very long, so you might just need to pick some settings and stick with it. Now next, the shutter speed. I did everything from 1 to 5 seconds. Now if you do it for longer, like on the 5-second side, there is a chance that your fireworks might be blown out a little bit, especially if it's during the finale. Now honestly, the shutter speed is the only thing that I really worried about with these settings, and I tried to automate the other settings as much as I possibly could and just focused on the shutter speed. If it looked super blown out, if there was a lot of fireworks going on at one time, I would maybe bring it down to like 2 to 1 seconds. But if there's like only like 2 to 3 fireworks going up at a time, I would go to that 5 seconds mark. Now next setting, which is manual focus. If your camera does it, set it to infinity. Another thing that you can do is set it to some thing in the foreground or just something that it can capture, and then just leave it. Now this didn't really work for me because I was at a baseball game and there was really nothing to focus on. So what I had to do, which was not the best but it still produced good results, is I basically just enabled the touch screen, and as soon as a firework would go up, I would just touch the firework. It would start to focus on that, and then I also did the touch screen to take the image as well. So I put on my timer, I touched the screen, and then it would do its little timer, 1, 2, and then it would take the picture. Now, last but not least, you can experiment a little bit with white balance, but I just kept it on daylight or auto. Now that we've done like the basic of the basic settings, let's just talk about which mode you could be in, because you could be in 3 modes here. The easiest one is going to be shutter priority. This is where you basically just set your shutter speed and then it compensates with the aperture and the ISO. This is going to be the easiest and probably the fastest mode that you could go on. And for the majority of the time, I was on shutter priority. The only thing that kind of made me angry is that it also does the auto ISO, and you really want your ISO to be at the lowest point it can be. You're like really like, okay, I just want this to be as easy as possible. You could go into settings and then actually set your minimum and your maximum ISO to like 100 to 200, and then just let it do its thing and compensate with the aperture instead. On the ones where I did use aperture priority, it really wasn't that bad with grain. Like, it really didn't bump up that ISO too much. So it was fine. But if you do take this and your images are grainy, you might have to do a little investigative work, go to your manual and set that minimum and maximum ISO so that it's not going anywhere above and it's not getting confused because it's night and jacking up your ISO, and then you look back on it and it's super grainy. We don't want that. So that's the easiest mode that you can be on. Second option is you can go full manual. I would recommend this for somebody who has a fireworks show and they know what they're going to be doing and they're not going to be changing their settings. They know what they're going to focus on. They know what shutter speed they're at. They set that ISO to 100 and you just point and shoot and let the camera do its thing. Now, this is great, but here's the problem with this. If you want, like, you take the shot as soon as the firework goes up, the firework explodes, and then the firework is done, you don't have as much control over that. With the manual mode, you're gonna say, oh, I'll just do 3 seconds and like hope for the best, and then you just like open the shutter and whatever is there in those 3 seconds is what your photo is going to be. If you do want that control, if you feel confident enough that you can take the photo, you've got your focus all set up, you can take the photo as soon as it goes up and then close the shutter, I would recommend bulb mode if your camera has it. That way, you can see the firework going up, you push the shutter, it opens, the firework finishes, and then you close it. So this is a very like maximum control situation in bulb mode, and you get exactly the fireworks that you want. I'm gonna give you the hard, honest truth here. I didn't care. I didn't care. I really didn't. I was so busy actually enjoying the fireworks show that I was like, you know what? There's so many fireworks going off at once. It's not going to matter if I get that perfect firework up there. I'm just going to put it for 1 to 5 seconds and just hope for the best. This worked out well for me. I'm going to be completely honest. And I still got to enjoy the show without micromanaging everything. So personally, I liked the manual mode, but you do whatever the artist inside of you tells you to do. Now, it is very important that you are on a tripod during this, or else all of your images are going to come out shaky, blurry, and just a general light blob. As I said, we're adventuring here. Maybe you don't have access to all of these fancy and heavy tripods, which is aka me, like literally all the time. So what I did is I bought a mini tripod that I just kind of screwed into here, and I literally had to balance it on my legs and my purse, and then I would touch the shutters. Instead, I'd touch the firework as it was going so it knew where to focus on, because the set to infinity, my camera does not have that. So I just set it on my legs and my purse. I just took a very deep breath. I touched the screen and just let it do its thing, and I just enjoyed the show very, very tensely, and then the shot would finish and I would take a deep breath out. Now, this is not perfect. Obviously, it does get better if you do have that solid tripod and everything is totally in line and in focus, but you know, sometimes when you're adventuring and you're taking photos, you just got to do the best that you can with what you got. Now, when and where to shoot these firework photos when you are adventuring. Some tips that I would have: get there early, because nothing is worse than you showing up to a spot like right as it happens, you don't get a good shot and all your photos are like of the back of a dude's ball cap. If you are scouting out a shot, maybe try to find some place with interesting foregrounds so that you can get a more pleasing image to the viewer. Give them something else to look at other than the firework itself. You could look for places where you can get reflections on the water, silhouettes, cool bystander silhouettes of people watching the fireworks, maybe a cool tree, cool plant over a lake, or maybe some iconic landmarks because you are traveling. And here's my biggest advice: frame it like a landscape and just have the fireworks add an extra layer of Now really quickly, let's just go over some creative composition, some tips, things that I have learned from this. If you do have a wide angle lens, this can create some very cool effects, especially if it's a very wide show like in Nashville or Key West. And again, try to get those scenery. Maybe there's a castle, maybe there's a landmark, maybe there's a lake with some epic reflections of the fireworks in there, but just try to get creative. And I know we love to see all those like compositional tricks like the rule of thirds, but really just try to get unique angles and unique perspectives on this landscape with just some fireworks in the middle. Personally, I really like some silhouettes. Now, as long as they're not too distracting, as I said, you don't want just like one dude's head in your foreground, but I really like the shots where maybe some like silhouettes of people pointing and loving these fireworks. That tells a story and that evokes more emotion. Just try to work with what you got. I would encourage you to try not to just shoot the sky, shoot the story. Tell what is there, what is the emotion that you get from the fireworks. And this is what separates you from just a tourist to a photographer. Now, just quickly, here are some common mistakes that I totally made, no shame at all. Number one, shooting handheld. If you want those long exposure fireworks that you see, you are going to need to use a tripod. And again, you can get creative if you don't have a tripod. You can put it on a rock or a tree, or do it like me and do a mini tripod that's balancing on your purse and your legs. However, you are going to need to keep that camera as steady as possible in order to get those beautiful firework light trails. You're literally painting the sky with the light, and you don't want blurry light shows. No blurry light blobs here. You want those crisp light trails that are just mwah, chef's kiss. Another thing that I would watch out for, you really don't need your flash. Your camera might freak out a little bit because you've got such contrasting light. You've got the night sky and then you've got these bright fireworks. And if your camera, if you're on auto, which please don't shoot in auto or else it's gonna really get confused and mess you up. If you're shooting in auto, it might think, oh my gosh, this is a dark scene. I need to pop up the flash. You really don't need it. Just don't do it. And also another mistake, which I thought it was going to be opposite. I thought they were just going to all be like dark masses, but it was actually more of a problem with overexposure. So what I would do is look up your camera manual, figure out how to get the histogram on there if you can, so that you can just make sure that you are not blowing out the highlights. Again, I did this about 7 times with this camera where I looked back at it and I was like, oh, it's just an overexposed mess and all the highlights are blown out. Cool. My next mistake to avoid is thinking that every shot is going to turn out beautifully. Fireworks are unpredictable, and even if you have the best settings, the best focus, the best shutter speed for everything, sometimes it just doesn't work out. So don't be too hard on yourself. Out of like 50 that I took, I think I only got like 10 that worked. And I feel like that was still a pretty good number for what I got. I've seen people who are like, oh yeah, I took like 50 photos and 2 worked. Hey, that's still 2 photos that are great. I would run with that and take it as a win. And my last and final mistake, that is the most common mistake that you do not think about, is just focusing on the photography and not actually having fun at the show. This is secondary. You need to be enjoying the show and enjoying your life, and this comes next. So get your shots and then just put it down and just enjoy the fireworks. Now, just some quick editing tips for how I did edit these to be even better is I would boost the contrast, boost the clarity, bring down the highlights just a little bit just to reclaim some of that color, and then just slightly boost the vibrance and the saturation just to make those colors really pop. And also do not be afraid to crop. As I said, fireworks are unpredictable, and this is kind of a nightmare for composition, which is again why I would suggest getting there early and coming up with a game plan. But even then, like, some fireworks are going to be over here, some fireworks are going to be over here, and you might need to crop your shot in order to get a beautiful composition, and that's okay. Fireworks are just one of those magical moments that make me feel like a kid. They have a special place in my heart. Basically, my family does this every year where they go to the Rockies game, and it's like some of the best fireworks I've ever seen. I've seen fireworks other places, but this one is just like special to my heart. But I want to hear, what are your favorite firework displays? Like, which fireworks have your heart? And I also want to see your fireworks photos, because I want to see those beautiful masterpieces of light, because they are like artwork pieces. I want to see if you succeeded in your firework pictures. I want to see if you quote unquote failed in your firework pictures. I want to hear your stories below, so comment what you think about your own firework photography after you watch this video, or maybe you've already given it a go and I still want to see your fireworks photo. I want to cheer you on. Thank you so much for watching this video. I wish you the best of luck when you're adventuring, when you're traveling, when you're looking at those epic firework photos. If you do want more adventure and travel photography guides, I run a blog called The Bucket List Mermaid, and I also have an entire guide if you want this written out more coherently than my beginner ramblings of firework photography. So I will link that in description. Make sure to check it out if you really, really want to get into firework photography. And again, share your results. I want to see them. If this video was helpful for you and you do want access to more photography videos in the future, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button so that I can help you out. I get so nerdy about this stuff. I want you to have the best photos possible. That's my goal. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time. Happy adventuring and happy photographing.